It's like if I'm like a detective, like, okay? Okay, so clearly Jared was here.
Yeah.
So easy to figure it out. It's so awkward when I do it. Because my legs are just all, what do they do? Nothing about it that works. Does he do this? That's what he does? Just like that? Hi! It's like a pretzel.
It's just hanging.
Yeah, this is totally comfortable. Hold on. Well, that was something. That was really something. What's that? Yeah, no, I need a chiropractor. Yeah, good thing I got my stretchy jeans on. So, hi. Hi. I'm gonna put this here and I'll forget it. Try to remind me. Do you have a question?
I do.
Let's go.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful.
Good.
All right. So my question is, okay. So how did you react when you first found out that God is a dick?
God's a dick? Well, so was I a bad guy? So I reacted exactly how you must have reacted, which was like, what? Like, come on, are you serious? Like, I really couldn't believe it. And as a guest star, they never tell you. Like, I didn't get like warning. You know, they said, hey, they want you back with Supernatural. I go, great. This is when you're working, cool. They sent me the script a week before, so I read the script, you know. Kind of acting kind of funny, it's weird. I'm not acting how I acted in season 11. This is weird. And then I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, what? Oh my God, you know, I was like, it really was. I went through it and I was like, okay, so this is it. And then they're like, you're the big bad for the final season. And you know, there's a part of me, I was really pleased that I got to be relevant as the show ended. You know, I got to work with all my friends, and after 15 seasons to be such a big part of it was great. But to be so evil and bad and be remembered forever in everyone's minds as the dick, not something I expected. Because you know, but at the same time, I loved playing Chuck. I have a really like soft place in my heart for the character of Chuck, good or bad. I still think, you know, when you play someone like that who's gone bad, you don't go, I'm a bad guy, you know? So I still have love for the character, and I still think in my mind that he's not just all the way just a complete total asshole. I think there's a lot of love in choices he makes. He's God, and he doesn't realize, you know, maybe he's a little bit of, he doesn't understand that people's emotions in the same way, or what it is to be a human being, and so you can kind of wipe the chessboard and play a new game over here and not have consequences. He's kind of an estranged father and a strict father, but I do think he really loved, especially that Sam and Dean. That being said, I was shocked.
Did you talk to any of the cast about it? About, oh my God, look what they're doing to my character?
No, not really. I mean, you know, Richard probably, we had talks where Richard was pretty happy about it, you know. No, they're gonna hate you. People are gonna hate you. No, not really. I mean, again, it's like playing basketball or playing a sport or something on a team, and these are your teammates, and sometimes some seasons you're off the team, some seasons you're back on the team, so it's just fun to be on the team again. And so really it's more, the talks that we have would be like, you know, hey Jensen, I'm going to be working on the show again for the next several episodes. Great, let's do dinner, let's hang out, you know. And there was a lot of that, which is always the best part, is hanging out together. Every time I'd get to set, I'd go knock on Jensen's trailer and just hang out in his room, play guitar. So that part of it was always great. But yeah, it was. But yeah, personally, it was a shock. I'm still coming to terms with it. But it was just a great part to be able to play too.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi. First, I just wanted to wish you a happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Is it Father's Day here too?
No, it's March 19th in Italy.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And I don't have a question so much as a thought.
Okay.
But when you came back in season 11 as Chuck, your performance fairly well when you sang that. I think that was one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you. That's so nice of you to say, and honestly, that feels really good to hear because it meant a lot to me too. Like that moment was a really special moment, and like sometimes when you act in things and you do things and then you see the finished product later and you're like, they didn't really capture what it felt like. This was exactly how it felt, and the way that they edited it together, it kind of gave you goosebumps. Like that was what it felt like in the moment. It was a very it's in all my years acting, I've never been in another situation like that where everybody stopped what they were doing and everyone's watching me. I'm on a stage like this, I'm playing the song, there are 3 cameras going, and we did it all in one take. And the audio you hear is the audio I played on the days. It was really special moment. And I always feel like a scene has gone well when a random crew member, like a grip or somebody, someone from the electric department is like, hey man, that was great. And yes, the grips liked me, So anyway, so it felt that special. So I'm glad that it came out that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
So this is my first convention, and I've heard many kind words from you and from other actors how you like it here. I was just wondering, what is the worst thing for you on this convention? What you don't like, and you're like on the way here, you're like, not this again.
Oh man. Yeah. Is Daniela in here? There's so much we like about this convention. Honestly, the only part that is when you are at home with your children, really enjoying being home and touching base and going, oh shit, I gotta get on a plane for 12 hours. That's the only part that you're like, oh man, I gotta fly to Europe and it's gonna be taxing. And then literally you land and Daniela and her friends pick you up from the airport and you're just like, oh my god, I'm in Rome, this is amazing. And then you're just on a rush the whole weekend. You're tricking your face off, you're like, this is amazing. And you're barely sleeping, you're like, it doesn't even matter. And you eat pasta, and I don't eat gluten at home, and I stuff my face with pasta and bread here, wine, big magnum bottles of wine, and drink like a fucking sailor. And then I go back home and I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? I look at my kids, I'm like, what's your name again? So sorry. Daddy needs a minute. So yeah, no, while I'm here, there's nothing I don't like. I mean, honestly, every bit of it is super fun. One of the greatest things about this convention, besides how warm and welcoming everyone is, and Danielle is so great to us, is you guys represent the world. I meet people from so many different countries, and when I'm signing autographs, I'm trying to gauge what language I'm going to say thank you in. You know what I mean? Not only just from all over Europe, but Russia and Asia and Australia and the States. I'm like, oh my god, you're American. What? In Mexico and Brazil. I mean, there's so much all around the world. And it amazes me that the show has reached that far, and that I'm sitting here talking to someone, from a country I've never been to. That I don't really get anywhere else. This convention in particular is very international, and I really like that. But yeah, that's it. That's it. It's just the travel can be wearing, but besides that, it's awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
from France.
Nice to meet you.
Meet you.
Enchanté?
Yeah, enchanté.
Oui, merci.
First of all, how are you today?
Très bien.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm tired, a bit fatigué. But I'm good, really good. I
nice.
slept last night like someone had knocked me out. I was just like,
Oh,
I'm just gonna lay down and... So it's good.
okay. So I've already asked this question to Jared, but I wanted to ask you. For your birthday, did you have a tradition with your friends or something like this?
For my birthday?
Yeah, you do every year, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I always had a good birthday. I mean, birthdays, you know, some people, especially at my age, people are like, birthday, whatever. But like, it's my day, man. You get one day a year there, you get to celebrate yourself. Like, I love it. So yeah, no, so I always did something for my birthday. But there was not really a tradition other than the normal, you know, cake and happy birthday and that kind of thing. But yeah, as a kid, you know, I'd always have parties, I guess. I'd have my friends over. I remember getting a lot of Star Wars toys when I was a kid, and that was really cool. I collected Star Wars figures, which I wish I still had. I wish I still had those.
I don't like Star Wars, I'm
Oh, cool.
sorry.
That's it. Some people do, you know. Anyway, so, but no, and as an adult, like I've had some pretty epic parties. When I turned 21, that was a big party I remember I had. And then, and then when I turned 30, I had a big barbecue and I invited everyone I knew. And then when I turned 40, I threw myself a surprise birthday party. Because I was married at the time and my wife was like, just so you know, I'm never going to throw you a surprise, so don't ever expect a surprise party. And I was like, well, I kind of want one, so I'm going to throw myself one. So I told everyone to get to my house at 7, and I was going to arrive at 7:30 and to surprise me. So my friends took me out for a drink, everyone got to my house, and then I opened up the door at 7:30. I was like, surprise! I was like, what? This is amazing! You're here! Oh my God! It was awesome. That was one of the better parties I've ever had. But that was a bummer, and then I turned 50, and that was a bummer because it was COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't do the party that I would have liked to do. But we did. A few people got together with masks on out in the desert near where we live, which was fun. But, you know, not the same because of COVID and whatnot. Yeah, and that's it. I haven't turned 60 yet or anything. Yeah, I have a ways to go. But, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Hi.
Still want to say that you have my favorite beard in the entire show.
Oh, thank you so much. Right now it's more of a mustachy thing, but
Still looks great.
thanks, man.
So my question for you is, so you have 2 of my top favorite 10 scenes in all of Supernatural.
Wow.
The part where you sing, that we already talked about, and your monologue at the end of season 5. So my question for you is, at the end of season 5, when your character kind of disappears, and then you randomly show back up in the musical episode, did you start to have a feeling of what your character was going to be doing in the show?
Well, so here's what happened. So at the end of season 5, which was Eric Kripke's last episode, who created the show, you know, and that episode, which I think is such a great episode, it's his love letter to the show because he knew he was leaving. And my character has always been kind of an interpretation, I think, of Eric, because he's the creator of the show, and then as the writer of Supernatural, I am the creator, then God as the creator of the universes. It's Eric. And so there was that episode, and then I go poof at the end of that episode, and Eric called me and he says, hey, so you're God. And I was like, oh, that's what that is. So I didn't know, but okay. And he was like, yeah, but the bad news is I can't really bring you back again. Like, I think this is it. He didn't know the show was going to go on for 10 more seasons. So I was like, oh, this is actually really bummer news. So after I sat down, I cried a little bit. And then yeah, so that was it. And I didn't think I'd see the show again. And then I started doing conventions, and he was like, don't tell people you're God. Let them have their own theory about it. So that was kind of all I knew, is that I was God. I couldn't really say it. I would give hints like, I think maybe that's a good theory. And then, then it was on for so long that it finally made sense to bring me back, especially with Amara, my sister, and to have that whole battle. And then when I came on in season 10, Robbie Thompson wrote that episode. I was just talking about him in the meet and greet. Robbie was a great writer for the show because he was a fan of the show. So he wrote Baby, he wrote fan fiction, he wrote Don't Call Me Shirley. He wrote the episodes that really had, they were an episode that a fan would write if a fan was writing for the show, right? He was just like one of the best writers. And so he had the idea to bring me back as sort of a wink to the audience who maybe suspected I might be God, and that was what that was about. So, no, I kind of found it all out as you found it out. The only kind of hint I had is that I was God, and that's how Eric meant me to be. But I didn't know how they'd use me when they brought me back, and it all made sense, I was just always thrilled whenever they called. And like I said, I never, ever imagined it would make the turn, and ultimately I'd be the ultimate bad guy to try to bring the show down, But yeah, so that's all I knew, and I kind of just went with that, And it was always the good exercise for me to figure out how to make it still Chuck through the whole thing, right? Even like Chuck as the writer, as the prophet, as God, as absentee father, as really shitty father, and then ultimately not God at all. But so, just being on that journey and trying to create a through line was a good challenge for me, but, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.